First girl I loved, time will say my heart is started by you. When I was 17, I used to know you. Yeah, that's the words of the Incredible String Band. And it's St. Valentine's Day. And the story today is the very first girl that I loved or fancied more, I think. And the story goes, when I was young, way back when I was 13, I think it was just coming up to 13, I failed my 11 plus, right? And it was either St. Martin's and Hamilton, that's if you're, you know what I mean, you nearly get into Holy Cross, you know, that kind of thing. That's the big one, Holy Cross, by the way. That was in Hamilton as well. But no, English, especially spelling. Maths, I think I was sort of okay, but spelling and stuff like that. And I could hardly read, you know, and I kept, you know, my eyes were dead sore every time, and I just couldn't get through a lot of things. And so I failed miserably. So they put me to what they call the dunces school, which was St. Mary's. And, you know, my parents wanted me to go to somewhere, but to go to Holy Cross, they were expecting me and that. But no, so I went to St. Mary's in Lark Hall. I had a brilliant time there. I'll be honest, it was a brilliant place. I have to admit, I had a great time there. But the one thing I do remember more than anything else is a girl I fancied like mad. Her name was Lorna Campbell. I can always remember. She had a ponytail and that, you know, and very pretty and that. And she came from Kirkby Hill. I fancied her like mad, I can tell you, you know, and I thought I'd try to go, you know, I was pretty nervous, you know, I'm not good at chatting up girls. And there was a guy called Laurie Kane in the class below me, or no, it was the same class actually. I went to the big class with Lorna Campbell, which is the name of the girl I was mad on. And she was a milk monitor and stuff like that, but she was really beautiful and everybody fancied her. Especially a guy called Jim McSherry and another one called, we used to call him Nasher, right? Gordon, we used to call him Nasher. He did well for himself because he used to play for Kilmarnock and he's got a pub in Ayr, I think. And then the other one was Charlie Goldie. He's got a marina. He does boat repairs in Devon. He's got quite. I wonder what his business is like now, or if he's still going. So, but his father was a coalman, so so that was my rivals. I really fancied, but she didn't fancy me. She used to kick me and never round the playground. Somebody suggested that I buy her a Christmas present. I remember in '64. I can always remember the song "I Feel Fine" by the Beatles. It was, and I'm going to get her perfume, and I'm going to get her chocolate. You know. Do you know what happened? Just threw the perfume all over the chocolate. You know, I don't know, and then. So what she did, do you know how she got her own back? There was another girl in the class, and she wasn't what I call attractive or whatever, you know. And she was pretty scary, and she was chasing me in the end, and that. That's what I call. She's a very clever girl, Lorna, and you know, she came to Straven once, and Anne Burns, that was her best pal, I think, or it was related, and she living next to David Leggett, and then she moved to Stonehouse. And so the only time she came to Straven was they had the St. Patrick's Christmas fair it was. and she was giving out raffle tickets. I always remember. Oh, and I was trying to avoid, my parents. I was too embarrassed about my parents. But my sister knew that I fancied her, and she didn't shut up, and that. She says, "Oh, there's Jim's girlfriend, oh." Marie would say, she's my late sister Marie, she said, "Oh, look, that's your girlfriend," and that. Ooh, and my face was bright red. It's just nothing of it after that. And she left school before me. I was pretty sad. So I got a Viewmaster, right? I got a Viewmaster, and I was going to give that for her birthday. And so I decided to go to Kirkby Hill, and in those days Kirkby Hill was probably like somewhere like Germany nowadays, Oh, Kirkby Hill, oh, no, Kirkby Hill. Oh. And so I just decided to go there, and I knocked the door, and there was no answer, right? So I went away about half an hour, and it was a pouring rain. I'm not joking. It was August the 11th. That's exactly, and it was 46 Locken Bank. That was the address. You even remember that? And I just went. She still wasn't there, and it got to about. I was there from about 1 o'clock, and then I came back at about 1:30, and then I came back at 2 o'clock. And then all of a sudden I looked at it, and there was a blue van, and it was Sergeant Jones of the Straight Constabulary. Oh, you want to lift back to Strave and you'll get soaked and that. So I ended up it took us back to Father Hennessy's, and we had a cup of tea and everything like that, and a laugh and everything. I still think he had put whiskey in my tea, but that was a laugh, so that turned out good in the end. And so I never really thought about Lorna until one day I was in Lesbehago, and we were doing the darts team in Lesbehago, the Straven versus Lesbehago, right? And this was 67, and I was at Whitelaws, I think, then, and I'd left school. And so I went to see this guy, Davy Mayer, and going for a walk down the braes near Lesbehago, and then there she was, Lorna and her boyfriend, and I was, oh. I thought I'd never see her again, but December the 3rd, I can't even remember the exact date, December the 3rd, 1969, I was going into Hamilton, and there was a place, it was called the Club Noir, I think, or something like that, and it was a coffee shop. It was a bit down the stair, and that's where you used to get your canvas, your wacky bucky. So I was going there, and used to play some great music, and that. And I had to order the coffee up the stair and go down the stair to meet my thing, and this girl came in. It was none other than Lorna Campbell. Oh, so she came down the stairs with me and everything like that, She said, "Oh, how you doing?" and all the rest. And she was doing great. She was working as in kennels or something. She was mad in dogs and cats. And she was in the kennels and near Lesbehago. And what's happened? She says, "Oh, I'm getting married soon," and everything like that, So, and it was strange, the song it was on behind, right? You'll guess, here it goes. Right, right. That's the bass guitar. So it was King Crimson and the Court of the Crimson King, the best album of the 60s, no matter what, say, one of my favourite albums of all time. Not one bad bloody track on it, it's perfect. So, in that background, that song was on when she said, I'm getting married next year, I'm engaged now. So, did I see her again? We're going to go 40 years into the future. To the time of the stand. And, it's the other place in Edinburgh. Anyway, do you know what happened? I was going to Lark Hall. I was going back to Lark Hall, and I was sitting near the Lark Hall Bridge, and down below was where the school was that I went to. And I was thinking about Lorna Campbell. I wonder where she is now. And so later that night I got the train, and Scott Agnew was on the train. I remember, I was doing a gig with him in Hamilton. And I couldn't believe it when I got there. There was no men there except for the comedians. It was a hen night, and it was all male comedians that night. And I can't exactly remember who else was there. I think somebody called Mark or something. Mark, I can remember. Oh, the guys from Dumfries. Well, you'll probably guess it. Anyway, I'm going to say Scott Agnew. You'll probably tell me because I'm a lazy bastard. So we're doing this gig in Hamilton, and I want to get filmed in that. So it was a girl. It was all girls, right? It must have been a hen night, and instead of going to see the men's willies and all the rest, men's willies, men's willies. I think we just wanted to see a night of comedy, probably. That's what it was. I couldn't believe it. There was some people I used to know from the scene in Hamilton way back in the 80s and that, and it was great to see them, especially Jackie and the girl, I can't remember her name now. She talked like that. Anyway, but she looked like Houlihan. She was a double of Houlihan. I used to fancy her, so when I didn't get off with her, mind you, because she didn't fancy me. Anyway, she was there, and I says to this blonde woman, I says, "Oh, can you film me?" And I'm just coming on now, and then so I went and she filmed me, and she come back and she went, You're the guy that used to pester my mum at school way back in 1964 to 66. And I went, I'm her sister, Marilyn. So Marilyn Campbell, her sister, and she says, she's still living with the same guy that I seen and that she was getting married to. So there you are, he's still there, and they're living in Croydon. So that's the end of the wee story, and there we are. So that's the end of that. So happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy yourself.